Welcome to Imperfect Mommying. Our children are constantly looking to us for examples. The term role model doesn't quite cut it here. We are shaping their worldview with every move we make. You see, it's not in the lectures we give or moments where we are actively attempting to teach them. It's in the micro movements we make, the unconscious ways in which we navigate life. We are constantly teaching our children how to show up for themselves, their friends, their future partners, and even their future children. So what can we do to ensure we are raising thoughtful, compassionate, self-aware human beings? We have to become them ourselves. No one is perfect, but we can still all be better, and it starts with self-healing. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Imperfect Mommying, and we have a very special guest today, Marjie Hadad. Welcome to Imperfect Mommying.
Hello there. How are you and how's everybody out there doing today?
Well, I am doing great. I hope everybody who's listening is doing great as well. I love that. And who are you and what do you do?
Who am I?
Huge question,
Great
isn't it?
question. I think out of any question you're going to ask me during our discussion, that's probably the most profound one. Who am I? Well, I am Marjie Hadad, and I have been in global public relations for 30 years. So I am a PR expert. My specialty is medical. I work with med tech and pharmaceuticals, and I have subspecialties in cell therapy and in diabetes. And I love medical PR because it's the kind of thing that can help everyone. And I work with people who are creating the next generation of devices that are going to make surgery safer and more efficient and practical and helpful for both the patient and the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And, those are the kind of things that everybody can benefit from, depending whether you're the person who needs it or you're the family member giving the care. So that's why I love medical PR. I'm also the mother of three grown children, 26 nearly, actually 26. He's 26 and 23 and 18. And as of this past April, I became a published author of a book called The Power of PR Parenting. And I am the founder of the PR Parenting Movement, which is a movement that I am leading to help parents today have an easier time parenting through public relations strategies that they can implement and that they can teach to their children to become more confident, more resilient, and have more success. No matter how you define success, we all define that differently, and it can be measured in different ways. And if it works for our children to pass these same communication skills on to their children, and so on and so forth, so that in 100 years from now, they'll still be PR parenting, and hopefully we'll be communicating more kindly, more respectfully, saying what they mean, not in between the lines, but in a gentler way, and in such a way that the world would be a better place. That's kind of what we're going for, and that's the vision.
Yeah, that sounds like a world that I would love to live in.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So give me an example of what PR parenting looks like.
PR parenting is when you help your children rather than handle them.
Mm.
When you give them the same respect of availability that you give your customers, your boss, or your client. When you support them in a positive way, but understanding that there's no such thing as the perfect first draft or the perfect first run, and just to encourage them to be resilient and enjoy the journey along the way, knowing that they'll do the best that they can. And maybe they'll become Olympians and Broadway stars. But guess what? If they don't, that's okay too, because everybody has their skill set. So enjoy the journey, take it as far as you can go, and approve along the way with whatever feedback that you get. And just a more kinder way to approach it so that your child sees you as a resource rather than a competitor.
Yeah. Yeah, my son, I just had his parent teacher conference yesterday, as of recording this. And, his teacher is on the newer side, meaning this is her first class
Right.
as a teacher, post credential.
Okay.
And he loves her, which I think is great. And he is terrified of disapproving or being, having her disapprove of what he does. He's terrified of feeling of her not liking him anymore if he doesn't finish his assignment on time. Mostly it's the reading. And I think that was fostered in the very beginning of the year when he accidentally destroyed one of her books. And I felt at the time, and I still feel like it was this over exaggerated response to a book being destroyed. Like, I love books. I have so many physical copies of books, and I rarely read. I rarely sit down and read. I'm an auditory learner, so I listen to books, but I still love the feel and the look of and touching and smell. Like, I love books. And my response to destroy that book accidentally getting destroyed was, let's buy a new one, and that was not her response. Her response was, there's a punishment and this and that and the other thing. And I was like, this is really excessive. And my thought was, if it happens again, we're going to have a conversation with the principal. And, luckily it hasn't happened so far, but I think that overreaction to the one mistake led him to believe that mistakes are not okay. Mistakes are going to be met with extreme punishment. And that's sad. And that's not how I've been a parent to him, but a lot of parents parent that way, and they don't realize that that's what they're doing.
You have a lot of themes running through that statement. An awful lot of themes. And my first thought was we should give the power of PR parenting. We should give this teacher a copy of it. Look, so let me respond in a couple different ways. First of all, the power of PR parenting was written originally as a love letter from me to this current generation, the next generation of working moms. It was my daughter's idea. It wasn't even mine. He had said to me, Mom, you made mistakes, but overall, I think you got it right. So you should help, because we have a motto in our family: if you can help, you should help. She said, you should write a book that will help the next generation of working moms have an easier time parenting based on your experience and expertise. And I thought, okay, that's what I'll do. If I can help, I'll do it. And I talked to various moms with kids of different ages. And I said, what do you want to know? I don't want to randomly write this book. I actually want it to be practical. So they told me what they wanted to know. And the chapters are based on these various conversations of focus. Now, even though I originally wrote it as a love letter for the next generation of working moms, because my kids are grown. Right. Been there, seen it, done it. Still doing it. Obviously, still PR parenting. We never stopped doing this. But like the early years, that's hindsight for me. What was interesting is that as other people started to read it, like dads and teachers who had been in the business for decades, people of grandparent age, aunts, uncles, cousins, and not mine, by the way. These are just people who were part of the early reading. The feedback was that they all got something out of it, a new way of thinking, a new approach to interacting with whatever child or teenager was in their life. Now, teachers have an awful lot of responsibility. They also have a lot of power.
Mm.
And one of the subject matters in the book is about bullying. And bullying can come from your peers or older kids or colleagues or what have you, but it can also come from teachers who misuse their power.
Yeah.
I would say to the teachers out there who I adore, love, and respect, believe me, I could never do it. The teachers have my ultimate respect. Hats off. My mother was a teacher. Some of my favorite people in the world are teachers, professors, but they have to understand that what they say has an enormous impact on the students. And they might not think about it 3 seconds later, what just came out of their mouth or the impact of what they've done. They might not think about it, but it will stay with that kid probably for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So, as parents, what we need to do for the teachers who haven't learned how to communicate in a positive way and to do so in such a way that inspires the child, doesn't make them feel the opposite. As parents, what we need to do, and what I did an awful lot because we experienced this regularly, was when my child would come home, I would say and inject the absolute opposite. It was all positivity. I would say, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to try again. Look, the book was destroyed. It's a shame. Let's call it what it is. It wasn't the intended goal. But you know what? Like you said, you can get another book. The sky didn't fall. Tomorrow will come. The sun will rise and set, and you're going to be okay. Just learn from it and don't do it again. Use it as a learning experience. Really no big deal in the scheme of it.
Yeah.
That's it. And every single day, I would literally talk positive, hugs. You know, in PR and in a lot of professions, when somebody does well, we give a handshake or a high five. Some version of a well done, right? So why don't we do that at home with the kids, especially on days like your son had? A nice big hug. And if you do that for 20 seconds, apparently it is scientifically proven to stimulate some sort of chemical in your body that makes you feel positive. So if you hang on for 20 seconds or longer, or until your child releases when that they tell you that they've gotten what they need, that is a huge positive reinforcement.
Absolutely. And he's homesick today. So he's on, if you're not watching,
Oh,
he's cuddling and needing some love and positive thoughts.
Well, go give that child a hug as soon as we can go. In fact, you can take a break and come back. Go give him a hug and a smile and tell him he's okay and it's perfectly fine. And even though the teacher might be cross, you're not cross. And you understand him and it's okay, and the teacher will get over it.
Yeah, we had missed a reading deadline just recently, and I mean by like 3 days we missed the reading deadline, and I think he ended up reading 15 chapters in those 3 days. Like, it was crazy to catch up. Like, when he's got the deadline, he'll push it. And
it's great that he respects deadlines. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And the Monday, he was supposed to have it finished by the Monday, and he finished it Monday evening. But Monday at school, he told her he was going to finish it by Monday morning, and he hadn't quite gotten there, and he had upset tummy. And I said, dude, you're making yourself sick by worrying about the teacher being mad at you. Your teacher's not going to be mad at you. If I'm not mistaken, she didn't even hardly mention it to him, and so I reminded him, like, it's not See, she wasn't mad at you. It wasn't the end of the world. And she still loves you. You're still her favorite, even though she's not allowed to admit that. So, and he felt better. And then we've made some changes to make sure that we don't have to have 15 chapters in 3 days kind of deadlines. So
Great.
and we have some flexibility. He's reading the Harry Potter series, which I think is amazing that they get to read Harry Potter in school now. when it was just out, that was not approved reading, I don't think. But he's on the 5th book, which is the longest book, and we have it broken down. If he reads 2 chapters a day minus weekends, he'll still finish it like 10 days early. So we still have some buffer time with, him being sick. He's probably not going to do his 2 chapters today, and that's okay because we gave him some buffer time, and I think it's going to work out really well, and he's going to feel better about it.
Do you know what you just described?
I do not.
You just described a PR parenting strategy.
Awesome. Tell us about it.
What's really cool about PR parenting is that PR is a common denominator in a lot of professions and a lot of approaches. So you might actually already be doing it, which is great. What you just described is a timeline and time management and a strategy of short, medium, and long-term goal, which is something that we map out in public relations whenever we start with a new client and every 6 months. We look at what is the long-term goal, and then we work backwards to figure out how we're going to get there. And then we timeline it, and we assign, the action items or the tasks, the tactics in between on a timeline, so that by the time we get to that 6-month spot or what have you, it's all finished and it's ready to go and showtime. And I always say there's really no reason, if you plan properly, to have any kind of pressure if you timeline appropriately, if you time manage effectively. And it sounds like you're doing that absolutely wonderfully with your child. And all the respect that he likes to read, and how great that he gets to read Harry Potter. Right. That's terrific. Yeah. It doesn't really matter what they read, but what a wonderful adventure story for him, and excellent vocabulary. I think that sounds terrific. So I would have to say, well done. You're already PR parenting. Congratulations.
Awesome. PR means public relations. And do you want to explain public relations to an 11-year-old?
Sure. Public relations is how one person communicates with another, ultimately. And when it's with the words that we say and with the tone of voice that we say, in order to share what we want to say with the other person. And we are conscious of how we do this so that the other person understands us the way that we want them to hear us. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know how to speak.
You do.
You know how to speak. Exactly. So when you speak, right? Has your mom ever said it's not what you say, but how you say it?
No.
No. Okay. So I'm Marjie. It's nice to meet you. I hope you're feeling better.
I'm Xander.
He's Xander. You're better?
He said, I'm Xander. Yeah. He's talking.
You're Xander. It's lovely to meet you, Xander. First of all, I want to tell you, I'm really proud of you. I think it's incredible that you're a reader, that you love to read, and that you're reading Harry Potter. What is the best thing about the Harry Potter series? Why do you like it so much?
The fiction. I like magic.
What about magic do you like?
The ability to do things that are normally not possible.
You can do things that are normally not possible. If you could have a magic power, what would that be?
Probably to run faster, because I could just get things done quicker.
To run faster, to get things done quicker. What would you like to get done quicker?
I don't know, like most things. Just like daily stuff that you do.
Emptying the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think? I think you're doing just fine. And whether you have that magic power or not, I think you're terrific. I think you're able. I think you speak very, very nicely, and your mother's doing a fine job with you. Really, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you. So let's see. I really do enjoy this concept of PR parenting because it's a new, it seems like a new twist on parenting and on parenting books. You know, it's not focused necessarily on one specific thing like you know, discipline or anything. It's like it's the whole picture of parenting.
The light might be a little bit too bright because that's just glowing.
I think it's the monitor, but thanks for the feedback, bud.
Might just be the camera.
It might just be the camera.
I think we have an executive producer in the making here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he makes his own
Video?
he makes his own YouTube videos. He has more subscribers than I do right now. So if you're on YouTube, so if you are watching this on YouTube, go subscribe to my channel so I can have more subscribers.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too.
No, Mom, look, you're not recording. See, you paused it.
No, I'm not.
Oh wait,
okay. So your book came out in April and
came out. Yeah, and you made a really important point. It is the only kind of book of its type. It does cover a comprehensive list of topics, and even the cover was meant to speak to everyone. I chose the sky because that's the one thing. Well, there's probably more than one thing, but the sky is something that we can all relate to, no matter where we're from, no matter our background, no matter what our perspectives are. We look up at the sky on a day where it's blue and there's the pretty white clouds passing by. And my goal was for readers to look at the cover and feel calm and to feel that there are answers out there and that the sky is the limit and there's infinite possibility when you can learn to communicate effectively. That's the short of it.
I have found it so interesting in my coaching journey and personal development journey that communication is probably the most important thing in any relationship. And we really aren't taught how to communicate effectively. We even learn language just by listening to other people talk. But we don't sit down and define things. Like if I say a cup, I could mean a coffee cup. I could mean a water cup. I have all my cups. But we don't take the time to define what a cup is, or we use multiple items to describe a cup. And that can be confusing inside relationships and inside communication if we don't have the same definition of what a cup is. So the perfect example is my son has always said, I want to wear comfy pants. I don't like pants that aren't comfy pants.
Oh, I meant, I don't like the elastic on jeans. It itches my thighs.
So we just learned that it was not the texture of the pants itself, but that it was the elastic on the pants that was rubbing him wrong. And so I handed him a pair of pants and he said, can I have comfy pants? And I'm like, these are comfy pants. Feel feel the material. They're comfy pants. And he said, yeah, but the elastic hurts me. And so it just opened up this whole like understanding to me of what exactly comfy pants were. And I explained to him why it mattered that I understood what he meant. Because, you know, if you want to wear comfy pants all the time, that's fine. But there's sometimes that comfy pants are not appropriate. Versus, you know, like, yeah, maybe chicken nuggets is your absolute favorite meal, but we can't eat chicken nuggets every single day, right? Like,
oh, come on.
I know, right?
Come on, I'm with him. I want to eat chicken. I wish I could.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets don't like me.
Right. Right.
Look, you know,
so I explained to him, I explained to him that, you know, you can't have your favorite meal every single meal. You can't wear your favorite clothes every single day. But I'm not going to send you to school wearing something that hurts. That's a whole different story. I'm not going to feed you chicken nuggets if chicken nuggets don't like you. We have a whole like zoo going on right now. Let's see if I can calm this down.
Sorry.
So now that the zoo has left, carry on.
All good. Been there, seen it, and done it. And you handled it beautifully.
Thank you. So every meal can't be the best meal. Every outfit can't be the best outfit.
So what I wanted to share with you is you said something really important, is that what works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. And what's good for one is not necessarily good for another. In the book, there are exercises. So I show you in stories of professional stories and personal stories how I handled things. But I didn't want you just to hear my story. I wanted you to have something practical to have in your hand. So they're exercises that include universal concepts for all of us. What's not universal is how we answer these questions. And Mom, you're in control. So it's a new way of thinking. I'm going to ask you questions that I'd like you to consider. And that's what you're going to do practically, whatever the answer is that best suits you. Now, at the end of each chapter is a QR code. And that will lead you to a free workbook. I wanted to give you a present. I wanted you to walk away with something tangible in your hand. You know, in addition to the book where you read the stories and you see the exercise and you get the concepts, and it's written conversationally, exactly how I'm speaking with you right now. That is how I speak to you in the book. We're going to have a cup of coffee together. By the way, here is mine. Always have a coffee. Always have the coffee ready, or a tea or a juice or whatever your fancy is. And we have a chit chat for 10 chapters. And there's an intro and a PS. By the way, my kids wrote the foreword to the book. So not only was it their idea, but they wrote the foreword. Now, in the workbook, you have each of these exercises expanded for you. So it's a little bit more of a deep dive. And you can fill out the workbook, either handwriting, can print it out and write it out if you prefer, or you can type your answers in and then print it out. But either way, if you do the exercises in the workbook, then you actually have an action plan at the end of each chapter. And that was I wanted to give that as a gift from me to you so that I know from the start I'm helping. And like I said, if you can help, you should help. So I wanted to help that little extra. So I hope that that works for you. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me and we can go from there.
Yeah. I love that. And such a testament to you that not only was it your kid's idea, but then they also wrote the foreword for you and are
just... yeah, that wasn't my idea either, by the way. It was the publisher's idea.
Oh, very cool.
He said they should write the foreword, and I was told to stay out of it. Completely out of it. I had no part in the process. I only saw it when it was completely done. And the publisher and they had agreed on the content, and that was it. And actually, the publisher didn't do too much either, because the publisher said that they didn't want to edit, they wanted to keep it authentic.
Mm.
So what you see from my kids is literally genuine and from the heart, and I had zero role in it. I think maybe at the very end of the process, maybe I added a comma. But that's about as far as it went.
That's so awesome. Is there a piece of advice that you want to give to moms listening?
Yes. Moms, first of all, take good care of yourself. Happy mommy, happy kid. Happy kid, happy mommy. The other piece of advice I would give is if you keep your focus and your sense of humor, you can get through just about anything. Very, very, very key. Which is why at the beginning of the book, they encourage you to give your favorite quote. And mine, paraphrased, would be, keep your eye on the donut, not on the hole.
Mm.
And I'm a little on the sarcastic side, but as you're reading the book, you'll be able to read my sense of humor, and I hope you enjoy along with me. But my sense of humor got me through the most challenging times in my life, including life or death situations.
Yeah.
So seriously, just eye on the donut, keep your sense of humor, and take care of yourself, even if it's an extra 60 seconds in a hot shower. Just, do you, be you, enjoy yourself, have some fun, and remember, take care of your babies and teach your babies to take care of you.
Beautiful, beautiful advice. Take care of yourself. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to listen. I would take a walk if I needed a little air, and I would take the kids with me so they would get air too. But I was able to, raise my arms above my head and stretch and change my scenery. And because I taught my kids to be part of my team, just like I had a team at the PR agency and I have a team today in my freelance business of the last 30 years, I developed a team at home. So if I need support in any way, shape, or form, I call on my kids for their assistance. That's what I mean about your babies taking care of you. They are your team.
Mm-hmm.
And their stepping up can make the difference ultimately between a happy ending and a not so happy ending. So you definitely want to train your team.
Yeah. Beautiful. Is there a book that's been instrumental in your personal development journey?
The book that's been most instrumental in my personal journey as of late is Who Not How. It's a great book.
Yeah.
And here's the bottom line for all of us. You don't always have to do it yourself.
Mm.
You don't have to be an expert at everything. We all have our skill sets and we're good at something and maybe not so good at something else. So you find somebody who knows what they're doing to do the stuff that either you don't know how to do that needs to get done, or that you just don't want to do for whatever the reason. Maybe you don't have time. Maybe you want to prioritize and you want to delegate. Who, not how.
Mm.
I promise you, when it comes to the computer and technology, there's only so much I'm willing to learn. So my who right now are my kids. You have a technology question, ask a teenager. They always have the answer.
Yeah. And they enjoy finding the answer way more than we ever will. That's for
yes,
sure.
yeah. One of my daughters was. I have a daughter in medical school right now, and she was home between semesters, and she was teaching me some sort of function on Instagram. And initially, it was like painful for me because this is uncharted territory for me, having to figure out how to download it, how to put it, and how to upload it, and what kind of thing. But she showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Now I know how to do Instagram. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's funny that I've been wanting someone to go through Instagram or TikTok or something and find mom related videos that I could react to, respond to, because that's the big thing right now. And I didn't realize until like this weekend that my boyfriend just has been doing that, and I've been ignoring the messages because I'm like, I don't have time to look at the Instagram messages, like, or we would enjoy like watching it together, and so I would save them all up, and then I would end up not watching a lot of them. But just recently I was able to create a reaction video on Instagram, and it's so much fun, and I'm having so much fun like writing on other people's videos, and like it's a hoot. Like I think it's the funnest thing. And but if anybody had, said, Leisha, you need to do this, I'd be like, I don't want to, I don't want to do that. So anyway,
I leave the graphics. I have this lady who does beautiful graphics and does beautiful websites. Yeah. I don't need to learn how to create a website.
Yes, right. Exactly.
And I'm never going to. I'm going to leave all that to who she is, because that is her superpower and it is not as mine. I'm going to stick to writing and coaching and speaking. And if anybody wants to join the PR parenting community, they can go to PRFOR.life, www.pr4.life, and they can sign up for the community and be a part of the movement. And I'm always available to help. If I can, I will. So just reach out, and I'm approachable. Let's chat.
Yeah. Super easy to talk to, and we're more connected now if we allow ourselves to be. I was just talking to somebody today. I was like, I have to remind myself to leave the house sometimes and connect with people like in real life, because I have such a connection just talking to people on Zoom all day long, or throughout the day, that I don't feel like I haven't interacted with another human outside of this house. I feel very connected, but I have to remind myself to leave.
Well, I have an advantage because some of my clients actually have offices outside of their homes. So I go to visit my clients, and that gets me out of the house. And to your point, though, and this is actually funny, I got dressed up for a party last night, and I stopped by my 18-year-old's room, and I said, all right, I'm leaving. I'll see you in a few hours. And she looked at me. She says, where are you going? I said, I'm going to a party. It was an office party, but I'm going to a party. And she said, really? That's fantastic. she's leaving the house in the evening, and she's all dressed up. So yes, I totally understand you. The virtual lives that we lead, especially during COVID and post-COVID, we're kind of glued to a screen, and it's nice to be able to interact again in person with people. Even if you just go to the grocery store and run into a neighbor at this point, it's kind of nice. Or taking the dog for a walk on the promenade. That's kind of fun too. And just to get out of the house and breathe some air. But you're right, we have a wonderful connection on these Zooms. And I'm really happy to meet you, because you sound like a fantastic mom, and your kid's absolute joy. He's so adorable, and he's going to do just fine. He's going to do just fine. With you as a mom, he's going to do great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he grows up and does in the world, because he's powerful now as an 11-year-old. Like, it's only going to get better. So I'm excited to see what he does. Yeah. Well, thank you so
much. Don't rush it.
What's that?
Don't rush it. It goes by fast enough. My kids are already grown. I wish I could go back and do it all over again, because they were so much fun when they were little.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's like, how do I slow it down? But I'm excited to see it at the same time. Like, can it be both? Can we live in the and?
Unfortunately, not.
Well, thank you so much for being here, for our connection, for our co-creating this conversation. You're the first guest that's had an actual conversation with Xander, I think, that that was really kind of cool. So he did introduce my coach, my trainer, but we set that up. So
Well, I think Xander's terrific. I love kids of all ages. And listen, they're our legacy. They're our future. And we have to remember that and treat them with respect and guide them and show them the way so that they can be their best selves. And I'm hoping that public relations strategies will help in that mission. And, pick up the book, The Power of PR Parenting, How to Raise Confident, Resilient, and Successful Children Using Public Relations Strategies. And you can grab it on Amazon in Kindle, hardcover, paperback, and audiobook on the way.
Awesome. So thank you again so much. And we'll have another episode of Imperfect Mommying for you all next week. And until then, keep healing. Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Imperfect Mommying. It's time for us to step up and realize that our power is not in trying to shape our children. Our power lies in shaping ourselves into the people we want our children to model themselves after. Don't just do it for your kids. Do it for yourself. When you become a more self-aware, compassionate, and confident person, you and everyone around you benefit. For more information about me and my work, visit AliciaLyons.com. That's ALYSIALYONS.com. See you next time.